them to be the master trainers. And today's topic, I think they would have shared it with you, is yoga. Madam, can I have the slides, please? So yoga, when we speak about, we usually think of only doing asanas and pranayamas and other things. Here we are going to see not the asanas and pranayamas, what we are exactly moving forward, but we are going to see a different aspect of yoga where we are supposed to follow in day-to-day life. So apart from the asanas and pranayamas, there is something called as, okay, let us learn what is yoga from all of you first. Then we will go for other aspects. So let me hear from you. What do you think it is yoga as, or what is yoga? Let me hear from the participants.
Unity of body and mind, ma'am.
Good. Unity of body and mind. Next. Anybody else?
It's a physical practice, physical activity as well as mental activity.
Physical and mental activity. Good. Okay.
This Indian traditional exercise.
Indian traditional exercise. Good meaning for it. Okay. Thank you then. It's a different meaning what you have given, sir, actually.
We can say that it's a holistic approach for our health, ma'am.
Approach for the health. Okay, good. Holistic approach for the health. Good. Then
kind of a practice where our inner side of our individual can be connected with the universe through different yanas. We can understand ourselves, our inner self, and we can connect with the universe.
Union of the body and mind and the soul, I can speak out. That's what you are saying, Amar. We also call it as a connection between Brahmanda and Pinanda. So that is what we call it. Anybody else? I think all of you are revolving around the asanas and pranayamas, only what we are speaking about. So few of you have clearly said what is it about also, like, connecting between the body, mind and all. So actually it's a kind of the other somebody has told about the connection between the inner self and the probably the universe, we can say. There should be a bridge or a gap, or the gap should be filled between the universe and the mind, or the body and the soul. So probably we can say that yoga fills all these aspects of life. So that's what we were saying about. Basically, if you see yoga, we can take it as four streams, like, jnana, bhakti, raja and karma. So it has a different type of aspects of yoga in itself. For example, Raja Yoga practitioners, we call it as. Then Jnana Yoga practitioners, we call it as. So different streams of yoga is already there. What we are all thinking about is this Raja Yoga practitioners. Raja Yoga practitioners of the people who are really talking about, or what we are discussing about, the asanas and the pranayamas, which are actually a part of yoga. But when we speak about yoga as a whole, it is something beyond what we are speaking. It's not just connected with asanas and pranayamas. It is something beyond that. Madam, slides, shall I, or you can share?
Madam, share, ma'am. You can share, ma'am.
I will share here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. to see all of you?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
I hope all of you are able to see the slides now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam, it's visible.
Yes. Okay, fine. So what we are looking here is yoga, which is beyond the asanas. That's what we are looking here. So this is what it is, yoga. Yoga is, as we were discussing, it is nothing but something which unites the body, mind and soul. So we can take it like that. So how do we do that? Just by mere practice of asanas or pranayamas, it is very difficult for us to unite the body, mind and soul. So something which people have created, that I should say our ancestors have created. Why? Because see, this is a simple, in fact, if I have to get it into a current scenario, when we are sorry, when we are there in some activity, for example, now we are moving into a life or, kind of activity of more towards the internet and other things, where our lifestyle has become a sedentary lifestyle. So that is what we call it as a sedentary lifestyle. We are all into it. So in such case, what happens? Actual physical activity, what we are supposed to do, is not there. So in such a situation, what happens is we are all towards mental, mentally we are all exhausted, but physical exhaustion has become very less because of the work and the stress what we are having. More importance towards the mental exhaustion has happened instead of the physical exhaustion. So in previous, or in decades before, what was happening is the physical exhaustion was more rather than the mental exhaustion. When there is a work towards the body, automatically the mind gets connected, or the mind is occupied, wherein it is always active and it gets activated, and mind is in a calm and a quiet position. Nowadays, our mind only is active. Our physical body is not active in such a way that we keep seeing or rotating towards the internet, whatever it may be, or maybe our work, maybe all has come towards a kind of a seating oriented job. So physical activity has become completely down and the mental activity has become more. The more stress, the more work, automatically there is a pressure, and that is a basic reason where we are all looking for something which will help us, come out of all these things. See, yoga is something which will help us to connect both mind, body, and soul. So that is the bridge which yoga gets into for all of us. It also connects with the mind, it also connects with the body, it also connects with the soul, which is there inside, where you feel a satisfaction after doing all these things. So when we are speaking so much about doing yoga and all, again, I am trying to insist here that yoga is not a kind of asana alone or a pranayama alone what we are doing it. It is also the one which we are seeing here as Ashtanga Yoga, which is given by Patanjali Maharishi. I don't know, my screen is not moving. Is it moving for all of you? I don't think it is moving.
Yes,
Yes.
madam.
First slide is
Participants,
visible.
please reply.
Only first slide is visible.
It's not going ahead. I think it is. I wanted to move the slide. It's not moving. I don't know why it's not moving. Madam, you are able to move. Can you please help me in moving? Or should I share it again?
Stop the share, ma'am, first. You can again share, ma'am.
Okay, so this is what we are seeing here as Ashtanga Yoga, which we speak about the 8 limbs of yoga, which is given by the Patanjali Maharishi. So he is the one who has given us the 8 limbs of yoga. Yoga, if you see here, it is not alone practicing of asanas. It is not alone practicing of pranayama. It is kind of a holistic approach towards yoga. So that is what he has given. We should all say like, kind of holistic approach. Now this word is a buzzer word. So holistic approach. So what is this holistic approach? 8 limbs. Ashtanga. Anga. It is called as Ashta is 8. Anga is limb. So 8 limbs of yoga. That is what is given here by Patanjali Maharishi. Sri Patanjali Maharishi. Please remember this. So what is this 8 limbs of yoga? What are they? Now if we see one by one. Number 1, it is Yama. It is not Yama, it is Yama. Yama, Niyama. Yamas and Niyamas, we call it as Yama, Niyama. Then the third one is Asana. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. So Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. So these are the 8 limbs of yoga given by Patanjali Maharishi. So what do you think which is called as Yama? What do you feel what Yama is? Can I have an answer from the participants, please? What do you think Yama is? Yama and Niyama. What it can be, what it could be, Yamas and Niyamas. Come on, what it could be. I hope all the participants are attentive, please.
Set of rules, something.
Huh?
Set of rules, niyama.
Very nice. Niyamas are set of rules. Yes, very nice. Then, anybody else? Yamas and Niyamas?
A kind of guideline.
A kind of guidelines, right? Very nice. So exactly this Yamas and Niyamas gives us what we are supposed to do, how we are supposed to do, how the things are supposed to be, so that we go to this asana. So Yamas and Niyamas, first we have to practice the Yamas and Niyamas, then we have to start working on the asanas. So what is this Yamas and Niyamas? Now coming to this Yamas and Niyamas. I think we have time till only 5 o'clock, so I have to just rush up very fast. So Yamas and Niyamas. Yamas are those which we have to follow. What we are supposed to follow? Ahimsa. What we are supposed to follow? Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya and Aparigraha. So Ahimsa. Ahimsa is something which we are supposed to follow in life. All of us know about it. But what Ahimsa exactly means? How are we going to follow the Ahimsas? How do we follow Ahimsa? What is Ahimsa? Don't give me the same meaning of what is here, which is called as non-violence. So Ahimsa is non-violence. Okay. Non-violence towards whom? Towards what it is non-violence? It is not just non-violence of hurting others. It is also the non-violence of self. We should also have Ahimsa towards our own body. In such a way, the way we are supposed to protect our body, we are supposed to protect. The way we are supposed to handle our body, we are supposed to handle. For example, sometimes, once in a while, we can just tell your heart, heart. All of us are very fond of our hearts only, isn't it? So sometime in a life, we can tell our hearts, my dear heart, you are working a lot for me. From the day I was given birth till today, you are working, working, working. So if you feel, please relax yourself. I will give you a not even 5 minutes, a minute gap where I will give you a little relaxation. You relax yourself. Did we ever speak to our hearts? Ever thought of thinking of our hearts? You leave about our hearts. Just think of our digestive system. My God, if it has a separate eyes, no, the digestive system will start crying and bleed blood out of it. So that is what our digestive system is, because we are just putting like a wastage bin, whatever is there, we just keep on putting it inside. It keeps on digesting, keeps on digesting. Ever we have thought about not hurting of the organs what we have inside? So because we have never thought of such kind of feeling, today we are suffering because of different types of diseases, especially the lifestyle oriented diseases are different aspects we are suffering. So here non-violence is not just having non-violence towards people or hitting others. It is also hurting the self also is prohibited. So that is what is non-violence. Again, Satya. Satya is, of course, not just same thing I should say. Truthfulness, not only towards outside, but also towards inside. See, we have never thought of ahimsa or Satya, not just outside, but also inside. Truth is very, very important, and being truth is very important. In Mahabharata, when Dharmaraja, that is Yudhishthira, when they are there in that exile, 14 years of exile, the spies are coming and giving information to Yudhishthira. So he has his own spies to get to know how the country is or how the state is going on, how is the ruling of Duryodhana going on. So he wants to get the message from them. So he's asking the spies to just tell him the information. So that time Yudhishthira says, you give me the information, Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat, Asatyam Na Bruyat. He's saying, tell the truth and tell the truth which will make me feel happy. But for that sake, just because I have to feel happy, don't tell untruth, which is not correct. So tell the truth which is happy, which makes me feel happy. But just because which makes me feel happy, don't tell me the untruth. If you see the current scenario, we are all going towards only to please people, only to make the other feel happy. That feeling happiness has become a great work rather than being truthful to yourself or any self. So that truthful to ourselves is very important when it comes to yoga, especially towards the Patanjali Maharishi's Ashtanga Yoga. So first we have to follow ahimsa, and then satya, and then asteya, which is nothing but the non-stealing. Here again, the non-stealing doesn't mean stealing only from others. It is also something called as where we give more and more importance toward our panchbhutas. So how is this non-stealing connected with panchbhutas? I'll tell you a small thing. See, for example, nowadays we do have water bottles to drink water, or I have a glass where I can drink water. So when we take a glass of water, let us take the glass of water, how much ever we are able to drink, only that much. So when we take the whole glass of water, sip it and just drink a half glass of water and keep it aside, it is actually a stealing, because think over the generations and generations which are coming out ahead, just struggling to drink water. Not only the generations, even there are some places where they have water scarcity. So like that, when you are taking not only this water, I can also connect with all the SDGs which is available, 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, which is connected or given by this UN. So you think of the health probably, or anything we can take. I should give a basic example, like non-stealing. Very, very good example. What I can give is during the COVID time. So during the COVID time, when we are all aware that there is a kind of a shutdown of the complete country, or when few grocery shops were available, people have gone and taken those who have and kept the groceries and other things for months together. Those who can just take it and dump it, they have just dumped it for 15 days, 20 days. Sometimes people have taken it for a month together. So what happens when you are grabbing things for somebody for years together or months together, it actually makes it that somebody who really needs it may not get what is required for them. Very simple example of take a paracetamol tablet is a small medical shop. You want to buy a medical paracetamol tablet which is available, only 10 tablets are available in the medical shop, and you are taking paracetamol, the whole 10 tablets you are taking and keeping, whether it is utilized or not. Somebody who is really in need is not getting even 1 or 2 tablets. Then what happens? That also becomes a stealing, because you take it and keep, whether it is useful or not, we are using. So such kind of mentalities of grabbing too much of what is required, more than what is required, also is considered as asteya, which is nothing but non-stealing. So such kind of things should be reduced. Then coming to very, very important factor, which is nothing but brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is very important because we are all actually struggling. We are all, those whom I can see in the video, most of us are in the middle-aged groups, I feel. So most of us, I can see many of you in the video. Most of us come into the picture of middle age, who has a good son and daughter of middle age, I guess. I mean, kind of adolescence and all, I can say. You all will be struggling in this word, what I'm speaking about, brahmacharya. Because in today's world, the term brahmacharya itself is not known to the younger generations, especially the adolescent age between the 7 to 16, 17. This is what is required for them. What brahmacharya is, why they in olden days, they have been sent to Gurukula to learn, because to make sure they have the control of all the senses and they get to know what is required. We should differentiate between what is our need, what is our want, and what is our requirement. So these things are very important to their life, and everybody doesn't need to have all needs. Everybody don't need to have all wants. So there is a parameter called, what you require, which comes from the term called as control of senses. This control of senses is a very important factor when they are in brahmacharya. And that kind of control of senses should be taught to the younger generation. And that is why it is called as brahmacharya. When they are in younger generation itself, that is when they, even before coming to adolescence, the child should be taught how they are supposed to go ahead for controlling their senses, so that they get to learn things in their young age, which will lead to all kind of goodness in them in their future generations. Just because we are not even introducing the term control of senses or control of course, senses only, control of senses, we do have all the problems which are created in today's world. As a parent, it is very important for us to say, whatever is required, we should give them. Wherever we have to train them, we should say yes. Wherever it is not there, we should say no for them. See, previous in our when we were child, our father maybe, grandfather maybe, our grandmothers and mothers maybe, they have taught us goodness, and that is why we are all coming together to learn something called as Indian knowledge system, where Mysore MMTTC have taken a good effort to bring it up to the current society. So we are all here only because of the good deeds, whatever has been inculcated by our parents, ancestors, and other people. And at least 20% or 30% of what we have learned should be transferred. So how do we transfer? See, now what is happening is we are giving them the choices. We never had choices in our life. We had only goodness which was inculcated by our parents and grandparents. Now we are like, very simple example of watching TV, I will say. So when we are watching, when the child is watching TV, we have to tell them whether they can watch, whether they should not watch, what channels they have to watch, what channels they should not watch. At least let us put it forward, no? So that let them think over what they are supposed to do, and then let them get into their discriminations and come back to it. And wherever we are supposed to halt them, we are supposed to halt them. We have seen people saying that it's okay, it is their choice, let them decide what they want. When we give them the options of deciding themselves at the younger age, automatically they are not getting to know what is correct and what is wrong. So this is very major aspect what we are supposed to inculcate inside the child. The word or the term called as brahmacharya, which is also called as, we do not have a proper translation for the word brahmacharya. Of course, moderation we can say. What we need to inculcate inside them is nothing but the control of senses. So such kind of words, especially, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. So these are certain things where we have to really put into the minds of the youngsters, whether it may be the college going child or whether it may be school going child or maybe pre-university, whatever the case may be. Young generation should know all these things so that they are at least, they will give a thought to it and they will do it. Otherwise, in due course of time, what will become yoga is only doing of exercises and asanas. Only that will become. So that is how we are supposed to take yoga, is not that alone. It is also something called as 8 limbs of yoga. That is Ashtanga yoga given by Patanjali Maharishi. Aparigraha. The last one which is there is aparigraha. So Yama has ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigraha. So there are 5 divisions in subdivisions in Yama. Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigraha. So these are the different classifications of Yama. So non-possessiveness here. Again, this non-possessiveness has a larger impact on people holding themselves or claiming certain things. So, for example, I cannot claim the whole classes, whatever it is there, or I cannot take somebody else's time also for me. So I am supposed to take whatever I'm supposed to take and leave it there. I cannot, possess. I should not have the possessiveness of saying that let me take all the classes or something like that. So that attachment towards whatever we want should be restricted. Aparigraha, non-possessiveness. Of course, we should have possessiveness to some extent, but not completely. So that is what is here. When we automatically follow this ahimsa, satya, brahmacharya, asteya and all, the aparigraha also follows that. So these are 5 divisions or 5 aspects of yama, niyama, yamas. Then coming to niyama. Niyama comes on again the rules and restrictions of purity, contentment, discipline, self-study and the surrender to law. So when you see this yamas and niyamas, automatically when ahimsa is there, purity comes. When satya is there, contentment comes. When asteya, non-stealing is there, discipline comes. When there is moderation or brahmacharya, during the time of brahmacharya, what they are supposed to do? They are actually supposed to do self-study. Everybody should do self-study, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is very, very important for us to actually elevate ourselves. Now, if you see, the reading practice has gone totally from the kids. That is why even in the schools, they have this library period. Even in higher education timetables, we are keeping this library period only to make sure that they develop the practice of Swadhyaya. The self-reading practice, when it is lost, we can never get back whatever we want for our life. So only by doing self-study or, Swadhyaya, we can understand things. That is how we have all grown up, isn't it? The same way has to be imposed to the students in such a way that they are able to do Swadhyaya. And the Swadhyaya, when they are supposed to do, they are supposed to do in the morning, early in the morning they are supposed to do. So that the mind is fresh and they are able to do all these work. So that is what is very important for the kids. So what they are supposed to do here, niyama. Niyama is purity, purity of mind, purity of thought and purity of everything. Niyama, santosh, so that is shaucha, purity. Then santosha. Santosha is contentment. When santosha will come, only when we have contentment, santosha will come. So that is how it is connected. Without contentment, we can never be happy. Only when we have contentment, we will be happy. Contentment of thought, contentment of words, contentment of work, everything is very important. So santosha comes, that is the peace, happiness comes only with contentment. Then coming to tapas, tapas is nothing but discipline. So discipline is again very important factor in the tapas, what we are speaking about discipline. The younger generation doesn't like us again to keep on telling them something, advise you or do that, do this. They do not like us. They don't want us to talk to them or, give advice to them. So when this discipline will come if we do not tell them, how the discipline will come if we do not tell them? So we should make sure that we should tell them, if you don't want to tell me, you become disciplined so that I don't speak. So that has to come by practice only. Of course, within a day definitely doesn't come. So what we have to do is let them you be disciplined. Discipline word itself they don't want. So we have to tell them, so this is the timetable, what you want to follow or what I want you to follow. Or you only make the timetable and keep and stick on to the timetable. Only if you deviate from the timetable, I may question you. You don't deviate, I will not question. So we have to give the ball in their court so that the kids become disciplined or the students become disciplined. That is very important. As a teacher, it is not just the bookish knowledge what we transfer to them. As a teacher, if we are successful or we are worth of a teacher is only by transferring the values for them. What is lost in this generation is only that. As a teacher, we are able to teach them, we are able to give them notes, we are giving them assignments. But as a teacher, what we are supposed to do is transferring of the actual knowledge what we have. Transferring of the actual values. As we being a role model is what we have to, show them. And that is what is lacking in today's community, because somewhere or the other, we are lacking in transferring the values to the children. We are just giving them the bookish knowledge, whatever is there. That alone is not sufficient for them to bring them as a good citizen. So what we require them is this what. So we are supposed to transfer. It doesn't mean that a teacher doesn't tell about Satya. It doesn't mean that we don't tell about Brahmacharya. In the class itself, we should make them to be disciplined. That's much more important. We do have certain things in our hands like internal marks and other things. So we have to put them a checkpoint and bring them to a disciplined life, which will help them probably not today, but it will take years together for them to understand what is actually required. Somebody is doing a scratch in that, I don't understand. He's doing it. Okay, so what we exactly require them is the transfer of knowledge, not only just the bookish knowledge, but so the actual knowledge and also the values what we are supposed to do is what we should tell the child. It's very, very important for us to go ahead with that. Okay, so Yama has Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya and Aparigraha and Niyama. Second one is Niyama. Niyama has Shaucha, Santosha, Tapas, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. So this bringing up this Ishvara Pranidhana is another important factor in every child's life. Why are we put up as a parent or why are we put up as a teacher? It is only our role is only to get them connected with the Lord. Whichever Lord may be, whichever is the God may be, whomever they are worshipping, whomever they consider it as worshipping, there we have to bring the discrimination. So the very important factor what we are supposed to do is to connect them with the Lord. Ask them to talk to instead of fighting with you, you tell them, go and tell your Lord, whomever you are praying, he knows how to change it. That's how we can just give them a small incidences in such way that, so there is somebody, there is Upanishad in one of the stories which comes as, the father goes for stealing and then father says the child, just make sure that nobody comes and sees what I'm doing it. And then the child goes on telling that, no, Papa, somebody is seeing you. And then the father comes and sees, and there is nobody. And then he goes for stealing. Again, child says, no, Papa, somebody is seeing you. Don't go for stealing now. And again, father comes back. There is nobody who is there as such. And then the father gets angry and then he starts shouting at the child, saying that what you are saying, where is they? Who is there? Where are they? You tell me. Nobody is here. And why are you going on telling me there is somebody? Then the child says that Papa, the Lord is there. You only told me that he is watching us every time. And how is that you are going and stealing now? He is keeping on watching you. So better let us don't do anything. Without anybody's knowledge, it is not possible. So let us don't do stealing because Lord is always watching. So that gives a transformation for the father, and then he leaves that right there and comes out of it. So sometimes, the way the child speaks, we may understand or we may get knowledge out of what the child is speaking. But our important factor here is to make the child listen to the Lord, to tell them small, small stories so that they understand. And one more story also in Guru Shishya Parampara, there is another story which they will go on saying, the Guru, the Shishya, that is the student, asked the Guru, where is the Lord, you show me, then only I can believe. Where is the Lord, you show me. So then the Guru asked the Shishya to bring a cup of water or a glass of water. The Shishya brings. Then he asks, where is the water? He shows the water, and then he asks him to bring the sugar. So Guru asked the Shishya to put the sugar inside the water, and then they mix it. Then now Guru is asking, now you drink the water. So the student drinks the water, and the Guru asks how it is. The Shishya says, yeah, it is sweet. So you know that it is sweet, the water is sweet. So now you show me where is the sugar inside. The Shishya is confused. He's like, how can you say because it is mixed? You cannot see the sugar which is there inside. So then Guru asks, no, you have to show me because the sugar is sweet. The water is sweet. So you know that there is sugar inside the water. If you know there is a sugar inside the water, then please show me where is the water. Where is the sugar? Then the Shishya realizes, yes, it is not that God is not present. He is present everywhere. Only one thing is that if we walk through it, like, you have to drink the water, sugar water, to make sure that it is sweet. So we have to make sure the student walks in that path so that he understands where the Lord is. He understands what he is supposed to do. Unless until we bring that connectivity between the Lord and the child, we cannot say ourselves as a good parent or a good teacher. It is very important for us to bring it to that level of Ishwara Pranidhana. Whatever they are doing, if they are writing their exams, even if they don't do any other work, if you tell them surrender to the Lord, come back and write your exam, definitely they will do it. At least that much the students will definitely, listen to us. So let us start from that slowly from the materialistic so that they understand the future of their life, how it will be going ahead for. That is very important to bring them in a disciplined life with Swadhyaya along with the Ishvara Pranidhana. They surrender to the Lord. Okay, so finishing all these things like yamas and niyamas we have completed now. So we will come to asana practice. Asana, that is physical postures for strength, flexibility and balance, which everybody of you have told about. This is very important factor. As I said, this part of physical activity is very important to tame the mind. That is very, very important. If the body is free, the mind will keep on thinking whatever they want to think. The body is little busy. The mind also gets, linked with any of the work or the activities. And actually, to say frankly, that is the main reason where when we go for a walking and come back, when we go to gym and work out, when you go for some Zumba classes or any kind of physical activities, we feel so refreshed because the body got exhausted and mind is able to work properly and it has a connection between the body and the mind. So the body and the mind connection itself alone is not sufficient. We have also something called as the soul. So that also very important. If that also to be satisfied, body and mind connection to be brought, asana is very important. Then coming to the pranayama. How the asana will help you out? Only through pranayama. Prana and ayama. So this is very important. Pranayama is a practice where you have the awareness of the breath. Prana. Prana is nothing but the breath control, life force, prana. So awareness of the breath, which is there inside the body, and then bring it to all parts of the body and make sure the body is refreshed is nothing but your pranayama. I will very simply, I'll ask you you have that hemoglobin which is there for us, isn't it? We do have hemoglobin which is there inside our body. The role of hemoglobin is to bring a fresh and good oxygen to all parts of the body. From where the hemoglobin will give you fresh and good oxygen if we do not inhale a proper breathe. If we are exposed to all kind of pollutions, from where the hemoglobin will bring, if there is no proper oxygen support to any of the bodies, definitely it will not work, especially towards the brain. Brain requires instant energy, like, a fresh glucose it is required, fresh oxygen it is required. So only when we give fresh oxygen and fresh glucose, the brain will work. Otherwise, cognitive functions will slowly come down. So when it will come, only when we start doing pranayama, which is very, very important. Pranayama is a practice of doing practice, breath practice or breathing practices, I can say. That is how the pranayama is known for, okay? I just wanted to give you a small demo you want to do of pranayama. You can do a humming breathe sound like how they are doing. Or, a simple pranayama techniques, if you have to do it like how you close your one nostril, you can close, breathe inside and give it in the left nostril and then take it in the same nostril and then get it back, like alternate. You take inhale and then exhale. Again, inhale and then exhale. So you can take a deep breath of inhaling and exhaling. One thing in the process of inhaling and exhaling, for some time you can also have a count of holding the breath inside. Inhale, hold it for some time. Don't breathe it immediately. Breathe out immediately. Hold it for some 2-3 counts and then breathe out. Again, you take it in, hold it for some 2-3 counts and then you exhale. So like that, when you start breathing it again and again, it will help you in expansion of the lungs, taking up of good oxygen, and it will help you out to work better in all your life structure. Okay, so this is about yama, niyama and pranayama. So coming to pratyahara. Pratyahara is something which is called as, see, this pratyahara will come up only by concentrating on the brahmacharya and swadhyaya and of course discipline also. So pratyahara is something where you are focused on the inner self rather than the external self. So as I said, it is the control of senses what we are supposed to get it. There automatically arises. See, unless until this yama, niyama, asana and pranayama is there, it is difficult to come into pratyahara. Especially the brahmacharya, the control of senses have to come out so that we start controlling. See, when we automatically do asanas and pranayama, we get a control of ourselves. It is a body control, we get it. So once we start getting our body controls, automatically we get control of our own senses, which is there inside the body. This control of senses is very important for any kid because they should know what they are supposed to do, supposed to see, touch, smell, taste, everywhere. Even one kind of senses is gone. It's very difficult for anybody to, hold it for a lifelong. So this pratyahara, focusing of inner self, apart from the external self, focusing of inner self is very important for us. As and then when we start focusing on the inner self, the body or the transformation happens inside the body. That is where we get connected with the Brahmanda and Pindanda, we call it as. So Pindanda is our body and Brahmanda is the universe. So we get connected with the Lord, that is the universe and us. There is a lot of collection only when we start looking into the inner self and not the outer self. So which is very important for us. There is a small story which they will tell, especially during this Draupadi's time, like especially the things are going on in the Sabha, where Duryodhana is pulling her sari and other things. Draupadi was calling out, it seems, oh Krishna, Maheshwara, this and all. Krishna was like, of course, we all know the story that Lord Krishna has given her the sari. There's a story which they used to tell us in small kids, how we have to focus on the inner self, pratyahara. They tell that finally, when Draupadi started crying, she did not get any more names of the Lord, it seems. Finally, she cried, saying that, oh, the Lord who is residing inside me, like, Antarvasi, the one who is residing inside me, please help me, is what she was crying. And that is how the Lord immediately came out from the heart and then he helped her, it seems. So they used to tell the connection or the bhakti of Draupadi with Krishna. They used to say why they then connect it with ourselves. So the focus of us should be more towards inside. So that's what I have heard this story somewhere. So I thought I'll just share it with you. So focus should be transferred from external self to the inner self, which is very important for us to move ahead in day-to-day activities. So we have seen yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and pratyahara. Pratyahara is focusing towards inner self. Dharana and dhyana, very, very important. If focus is not there, dhyana will not come. Focus is there, only dhyana will come. So how do you focus it is very important. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. You can write the shlokas and you can just check it out later. Samam Kaya Shiro Grivan Dharayan Nachalam Stiraha. Samprekshya Nasikagram Swam Deshashchanava Lokayan, he used to say. So, Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. Samam Kaya means the body. So, body should be kept in a straight line. How the body should be kept in a straight line? The head, the vertebrae and the backbone. That the head, the neck and the vertebral should be in a straight line. Samam Kaya Shiro Grivam. Dharayan na chalam stirha. Chalam is shaking this side and that side. Na chalam. You should not shake. What you should not shake? You should not shake your body. Head, neck and the vertebral column. So dharayan na chalam stirha. Samprekshya nasikagram swam. Na lochayan. Don't look here and there. Lochayan, eyes. Don't look here and there. Samprekshya nasikagram. So where we are supposed to see, if I'm not supposed to look here and there, then where I will see? So where you will see at the tip of the nose. So concentrate on the tip of the nose without shaking your body, keeping your head, neck and vertebral column in a straight line is how you are supposed to increase your dharana. That is your concentration of the mind. Concentration power develops only by keeping our vertebral column, neck and the head in a straight line. If some of you are there from science background, you will definitely get to know this is what we are speaking about, HPA axis in psychology. Hypothalamus, pituitary and adrenaline axis, what we are speaking about in the whole psychology. The complete department of psychology is put under a small shloka which is given in Bhagavad Gita, which is nothing but keeping your head, neck and vertebrae in a straight line. Start focusing on the tip of the nose, which will help you to increase the concentration levels. And this is how our ancestors have told us, sit straight in the classroom. Not ancestors, our own class teachers in our 4th standard, 5th standard. As soon as they enter the class, first thing they will say is sit straight. Hold your hands and sit straight. Don't look here and there. This is what they used to say. Now we have forgotten to tell that and we have forgotten to do that also. We keep sitting however we want to sit and we never tell our kids also to sit in a straight line, in the proper, keeping the backbone straight. See, this is how the concentration power has developed and that is how is told in Bhagavad Gita itself how we are supposed to sit. So, dharana. So, unless until this few things are followed, like keeping our head and neck and vertebral in a straight line, looking at the tip of the nose. Initially, it might be very difficult for us to tell the children to sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But this is very important for us to start with at least 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Only when they start with this 4 minutes and 5 minutes, definitely it will lead to dhyana. They will start focusing on inner self. They will start focusing on getting concentration. They will get concentration. They will focus on themselves, on what is required for them in their life. So that is what is very important for us. So dharana, and then which will lead automatically to dhyana. Unless until dharana is there, dhyana will not come. Unless until pratyahara is there, dhyana and dharana cannot come. So this is all interlinked, where one by one they are supposed to follow it up and then start working on. So dharana, dhyana. Dhyana is another important factor where complete concentration goes. Only dhyana comes, then we can go to Ishvara Pranidhana. Surrender to the Lord. So that is how it is all interconnected, inner connected, not just external, but inner connected. So dhyana, dharana, and last one is the samadhi stage, what we are seeing now. So samadhi. So unless until we go for this dhyana and dharana, definitely we cannot go to the samadhi stage, which is very important. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there is something where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa ji, when he is going for meditation, especially when he is going for meditation, he will feel he will develop attachment to small things, it seems. Like for example, I want to drink some cool drinks today. I want to drink some, or I want to eat some gulab jamun. Today I want to eat rasgulla, for example. So he will have such kind of small materialistic wishes, it seems, before he go into the samadhi state. Because the wish, what he is keeping, it helps him to come back from samadhi stage, it seems. The attachment what he has towards that. If I want to eat some rasgulla, he will have a deep wish for eating rasgulla. So once he goes back to the meditation, that deep thought, what he want to have it for rasgulla, will bring him back to the life, it seems. So that is how small wishes he used to keep it, and then he will come back from samadhi stage. So this is how our ancestors have lived and then learned from different types of or ways of living is being practiced by all of them. Okay. Then samadhi we have seen about. So next, so this is something which we are all knowing about. Again, I'm telling you, this is about Patanjali Maharishi's, Ashtanga Yoga, that is 8 limbs of yoga. So Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi. So this is about that. Okay. So again, all of you, I think, are aware of the Panchkosha module, what we have, that body is made up of nothing but Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha, all these koshas which you can just take it. There is another important factor what I wanted to speak about before we forget. These are all just small things like, Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutras also have a lot of psychological aspects related to it. So that is few things which I have just put in. Before we go ahead for closing it, I wanted to finish one more thing. This is another thing which is called as Trayopastamba, Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya. So this is called as Trayopastamba, which is called as Trayopastamba. Traya means 3. Stamba means pillar. So 3 pillars of life, we can call it as 3 pillars of life, which is called as Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya. So when we are following these 3 pillars of life, will lead to actual disciplined life. And in fact, I should say that we can be devoid of all these lifestyle oriented diseases what we have. Anything you take, whether it may be diabetes, whether it may be cardiovascular, obesity, or even liver problems, or anything you take, all these will come under the 3 aspects of Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya. So Ahara means the food, Nidra means the sleep, and Brahmacharya means the control of senses. See, we are supposed to streamline. In fact, I should say the word is streamline because we are the ones who have to streamline the process of Ahara, process of Nidra, and process of Brahmacharya. There is specific time where we are supposed to follow, quantity supposed to follow for Ahara. There is specific time where we are supposed to sleep, which is nothing but a Nidra, and there is supposed to have a specific period of life where we are supposed to follow the Brahmacharya. When any of these three is disturbed, like this, as I said, it is 3 pillars of life. Any one of these aspects is destroyed or disturbed, definitely the other one cannot stay properly. If Brahmacharya is disturbed, definitely Ahara and Nidra will not be there. If Ahara is disturbed, Nidra and Brahmacharya cannot stay. If Nidra is disturbed, neither Ahara nor Brahmacharya will be there. So it is very simple, like when you are traveling somewhere, if you do not have proper food, you cannot have proper sleep there. Or if you do not have a proper sleep, sometimes we used to say, I don't want anything, I just want to sleep, that's all. I don't want anything, just want to sleep, because probably we would have traveled for some time or some function, something or the other aspect which we have not had any Nidra in our life. So these 3 pillars, that is Trayupastambha, needs to be maintained in a proper way, especially Nidra when we speak about. See, now people go for tea, to drink tea in the night, like, 11 o'clock tea, they used to go for drinking, 12 o'clock prepare tea and drink. And, the Nidra aspect of a life when they are supposed to sleep has completely destroyed. We actually used to say, that is called as in Ayurveda, that period of Nidra is called as Kaliyama. That is Kaliyama in the sense Tamsik time. We are not supposed to do anything. Kali is representative of darkness. So she is abolition of darkness and then she comes back. That is why in Nidra, that period is called as Kaliyama. That 11 to 2 or 3, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So that 4 hours of sleep, that 11 to 2, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. 4 hours especially, it is called as Kaliyama. Nobody should be awake in that time. Very, very important aspect of life. So before 1 hour, after 1 hour, plus we are supposed to sleep. So minimum of 6 to 8 hours, minimum of 6 hours sleep is must. And that is what is called as Kaliyama, we call it as, where it is a Tamsik period. Nothing will work in that period. We are trying to keep everything work in that period only in current lifestyle or current scenario. That's not supposed to be happening. So if we are supposed to sleep, we are supposed to sleep in that period only. We are not supposed to sleep in the morning and then, get up in the night and do whatever we want to do. So when Ahara and Nidra are disturbed, automatically Brahmacharya is disturbed. Why a lot of commotions creates? Because Ahara and Nidra are not being taken at the right time. Whether we can keep it as a lifestyle disease or whether we can take it as a crimes or whether you take it as a proper disciplined life, non-disciplined, whatever we call it as, when these 2 are disturbed, Ahara and Nidra are disturbed, nothing can stand for us or protect us during that period. So this Trayupastambha, if one pillar is lost, the other pillar will not stand properly. So that is what we are keeping here as Ahara, Nidra and Brahmacharya, which is very important factor of yoga, maybe, which is very helpful for us to properly follow it in our day-to-day life. Brahmacharya, we have spoken more as a disciplined part of life, which if you see here in the PPT, you can see Brahmacharya as a strong pillar which is added to Ahara and Nidra. So Brahmacharya, which is nothing but follow of control of senses, discipline, everything comes only. There is a strong Brahmacharya in everybody's life, not only the kids, but everybody's life. There should be a proper Brahmacharya which needs to be followed. So this is actually, if you see on the other side, I can take the example of probably people who are keeping vrata, probably especially people who are going for Shabarimala, if you take, yes, if you are keeping for Ayyappa Swami Vrata when they are doing, all these three are connected to them. And that is why they are able to excel, and that is why they are able to follow the strict adherence to this kind of adherence to Ahara, Nidra, and Brahmacharya. During that period when they are following the Vrata which they are taking up during Ayyappa Swami, Diksha, they say, Mala, they say, whatever language you are speaking. So this is a strict discipline, and that is how they get a glow in their face. You know, there is also another factor which I have to speak. If this is not followed properly, there are a lot of commotions also which creates not only in the society but also inside the self. When there is no proper ahara, nidra is disturbed. When nidra and ahara is disturbed, brahmacharya is automatically disturbed. We cannot lead a disciplined life without ahara and nidra. So there is some specific time where we are supposed to take this ahara, and supposed to have a specific sleeping time, and supposed to have a discipline factor. So when are we supposed to take this ahara? I keep on telling that we are supposed to take ahara in the specified time. How are we supposed to take, when are we supposed to take ahara? There is one aspect in yoga which is called as, a person who eats food 3 times a day are called as bhogi, drogi, yogi, bhogi and drogi they call. So yogi is a person who takes 1 meal a day, bhogi is a person who takes 2 meal a day, and drogi is a person who takes 3 meal a day. So yogi, bhogi and drogi they call it as. Yogi is a person who takes 1 meal a day, bhogi is a person who takes 2 meal a day, and drogi is a person who takes 3 meal a day. They have not given any specifications of people who are taking meals more than 3 times a day. There is nothing which is said about that. So everything comes under drogi only, whatever we are doing it. So definitely we are falling into the category of drogi, but slowly we can come from drogi to bhogi and then to become a yogi. So bhogi is a person who is supposed to take meal 2 times a day. So we are supposed to consume food 2 times a day. And if you see the actual pattern, what we were following in our by grandmothers, they used to drink some ganji or something early in the morning and then start working. They will have their food around 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning. They'll start eating and then they will have rest. After that, only in the evenings after 6 or 7 o'clock they will eat. And they will never consume food after 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the night. That was the strict adherence to the disciplined life what they were following, and that is how they were able to live healthy. And we are suffering because we have lost that adherence to life, and we keep on taking it granted. Whatever we want to eat and whenever we want to eat, we are eating it. But there is something called as a strict adherence where we can try to implement it in our day-to-day life. Strict adherence to ahara, nidra and brahmacharya, which will help us to lead a peaceful, happy and non-diseased life, which we can help us to learn if we get a good adherence to ahara, nidra and brahmacharya. I think with this I will close my talk. Now I just ask all of you, in case of any doubts you have, because we do have another 5 minutes. Actually, I think I'm supposed to give some 10 minutes for discussions. I wanted to give you all brief, so just take a little more time of it. Now it's up to you to ask some questions. Please, if you have anything, you can ask me. So let us all move towards adherence to strict, disciplined or, principles of ahara, nidra and brahmacharya. Of course, we all have our own works and other things, but morning we can have some fruits and other things, or some porridge, and around 10:30 or 11 o'clock we can have our breakfast, or in the form of brunch you can eat it completely. And then before sunset, we are supposed to eat maybe around 7 o'clock, 6:57. If not possible, definitely at least by 7:30, but not beyond 8:30. So that is very important. At least before 8 o'clock, we are supposed to finish our dinner. So only if we finish our dinner before 8 o'clock and there is a rest of 1 hour or 1.5 hours before sleep, the body will take a good rest. So that is very important for us to adhere to actual timings of food, what we are supposed to eat, so that we maintain physical and mental healthiness when we are moving ahead in this. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity which is given for me. And now the forum is open for questions, please.
This is Priyanka. I have a doubt regarding, like when they say there are three different patterns or types of yoga, like Hatha Yoga, Vinyasa Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga. What we spoke in this entire discussion, it was of Ashtanga Yoga, if I'm not wrong. Are the Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa Yoga different or the continued versions of this?
Hatha Yoga and other things are also a part of yoga, where Hatha Yoga speaks about the cleansing techniques. But when we speak about the Hatha Yoga and Vinyasa Yoga, you should definitely have a guru or a teacher who can help you out to practice. That is very important. Just by giving a 1 hour lecture or 2 hours or something like that, it cannot be practiced. It should not be practiced also. So that is why that aspect is not covered here. And that is very important that we undergo through somebody like a guru or a teacher should teach us properly the Hatha Yoga techniques. Like you have nasal cleaning techniques are there, and Jalaneti, Sutraneti, all that are there, where you definitely require a teacher to teach all these things. So that is not covered here.
They're different. They're basically different.
Anybody else? Any questions, please?
Ma'am,